Friends, we start with the second chapter, that is bad karma, entitled. It's divided into many texts. We'll take some text in each video. So we start. The Srimad-Bhagavatam is an ancient scripture, Sanskrit, that contains the essence of all Vedic wisdom, recording the teachings of the Lord's devotees as well those of the Lord in many of his incarnations. In the 13th chapter of the third canto, an incarnation of Krishna named as Kapiladeva graphically describes the results of sin. Srila Prabhupada explains the text in his purports. Text 1. The personality of Godhead said, as mass of clouds does not know the powerful influence of the wind, a person engaged in material consciousness does not know the powerful strength of time factor by which he is being carried. Purport: the great politician Pandita named Chanakya said that even one moment of time cannot be returned, even if one is prepared to pay $1,000,000 of dollars. One cannot calculate the amount of loss there is in wasting valuable time. Whether materially or spiritually, one should be very alert in utilizing time which he has at his disposal. A conditioned soul lives in a particular body for a fixed measurement of time, and it is recommended in the scripture that small measurement of time one has to finish Krishna consciousness and thus gain release from the influence of the time factor. But unfortunately, those who are not in Krishna consciousness are carried away by the strong power of time without their knowledge, as clouds are carried away by the wind. Text 2. Whatever is produced by the materialistic with great pain and labor for so-called happiness, the Supreme Personality of Godhead as time factor destroys, and for this reason the conditioned soul laments. The main function of the time factor, which is a representative of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is to destroy everything. The materialistic and material consciousness are engaged in producing so many things in the name of economic development. They think that by advancing in satisfying the material needs of man, they will be happy. But they forget that everything they will produce will be destroyed in due course of time. From history, we can see that there are many powerful empires on the surface of the globe that were constructed with great pain and great perseverance. But in due course of time, they have all been destroyed. Still, the foolish materialist cannot understand they are simply wasting time in producing so-called material necessities which are destined to be vanquished in due course of time. The waste of energy is due to ignorance of the mass of people who do not know that they are eternal and they have eternal engagements also. They do not know this span of life in a particular type of body is but a flash in the eternal journey. Not knowing this fact, they take the small flash of their present life to be everything, and they waste time in improving economic conditions. Text 3. The misguided materialist do not know that his very body is impermanent and that the attractions of home, land and wealth which are in relationship to that body are temporary. Out of ignorance only he thinks that everything is permanent. Purport: the materialist thinks that persons engaged in Krishna consciousness are crazy fellows wasting time by chanting Hare Krishna. But actually he does not know that he himself is in the darkest region of craziness because of accepting his body as permanent. And in relation to his body, accepts his home, his country, his society and all other paraphernalia as permanent. This materialistic acceptance of performance of home, land, etc. is called illusion or maya. This is clearly mentioned here. Mohat Grah Kshetra Vasunir. Out of illusion only does the materialist accept his home, his land, as money as permanent. Out of this illusion have grown family life, national life and economic development, which are very important factors in modern civilization. A Krishna conscious person knows that the economic development of human society is but temporary illusion. In another part of the Srimad-Bhagavatam, the acceptance of body as oneself, the acceptance of others as kinsmen in relations to one body, the acceptance of land of one's birth as worshipable are declared to be products of an animal civilization. When, however, one is enlightened in Krishna consciousness, one can use this for the service of the Lord. This is very suitable proposition. Everything has a relationship with Krishna. When all economic development and material advancement are utilized to advance the cause of Krishna consciousness, a new phase of progressive life arises. Text 4. In whatever species of life the living entity appears, he finds a particular type of satisfaction in that species and he is never averse to being situated in such a condition. Purport: the satisfaction of living being entity in a particular type of body, even if most abominable, is called illusion. A man in a higher position may feel dissatisfaction with the standard of life of a lower grade man. But a lower grade man is satisfied in that position because of spell of Maya, the external energy. Maya has two phases of activity. One is called Prakeshatmika and the other is called Avarnatmika. Avarnatmika means covering and Prakeshatmika means pulling down. In any condition of the materialistic person or animal will be satisfied because his knowledge is covered by the influence of Maya. In the lower grade or lower species of life, the development of consciousness is so poor that one cannot understand whether one is happy or distressed. This is called Avarnatmika. Even a hog who lives by eating stool thinks himself happy, although a person in higher mode of life sees how abominable that life is. Text 5. When diluted by the covering influence of illusory energy, the living entity feels like inclined to cast off his body even when in hell, for he takes delight in hellish enjoyment. Purport: it is said that once Indra, the king of heaven, was cursed by his spiritual master on account of his misbehavior and he became a hog in this planet. After many days, when Brahma wanted to recall him to his heavenly kingdom, Indra in the form of hog forgot everything of his royal position in the heavenly kingdom and refused to go back. This is spell of Maya. Even Indra forgets his heavenly standard of life and is associated with the standards of hog's life. By the influence of Maya, the conditioned soul becomes so affectionate toward his particular type of body that he even sometimes says to him, give up his body and immediately you will have a king's body. He will not agree. This attachment strongly affects all conditioned living entities. Lord Krishna personally converses, give up everything in this material world, come to me and I shall give you all protection. But we are not agreeable. We think we are quite alright. Why should we surrender to Krishna? Go back to his kingdom. This is called illusion or Maya. Everyone is satisfied with this standard of living, however abominable it may be. Text 6. Such satisfaction of one's standard of living is due to deep-rooted attraction for body, wife, home, children, animals, wealth and friends. In such association, the conditioned soul thinks himself quite perfect. But this is so-called perfection of human life is a concoction. Therefore, it is said, however materially qualified a person may be, if he is not a devotee of the Lord, he has no good qualities, because he is hovering on the mental plane, which will drag him again to the material existence of temporary life. One who acts from the mental plane cannot get promotion to the spiritual plane. Such a person is always sure to glide down again to the material life. Still, in association of so-called society, friendship and love, the conditioned soul feels completely satisfied. Text 7. Although he is always burning with anxiety, such a fool always performs all kinds of mischievous activities within the unfulfillable hope of maintaining his so-called family and society. Purport. It is said that it is easier to maintain a great empire than a small family, especially in these days when the influence of Kali is so strong that everyone is harassed and full of anxieties because of accepting of solid presentation of Maya's family. The family we maintain is created by Maya, is the perverted reflection of family in Krishna Loka. In Krishna Loka also there is family, friends, society, father, mother, everything is there. But there they are eternal. Here, as we change bodies, our family relationships also change. Sometimes we are in family of human beings, sometimes in family of demigods, sometimes in a family of cats or dogs. Family, society and friendship are flickering, so they are called asat. So as long as we are attached to this asat, this temporary non-existent society and family, we are always full of anxieties. The materialists do not know that family, society and friendship here in the material world are only shadows, thus they become attached. Actually, their hearts are always burning, but in spite of all convenience, they still work to maintain such false families because they have no information of real family association with Krishna. Text is, he gives heart and senses to women who falsely charms him with Maya. He enjoys solitary embraces and talking with her, and he is enchanted by the sweet words of small children. Family life within the kingdom of the illusionary energy Maya is just like a prison for the internal living entity. In prison, a prisoner is shackled by iron shells and iron bars. Similarly, a conditioned soul is heckled by the charming beauty of a woman, by her solitary embraces, and talks of so-called love, and by the sweet words of his small children. Thus, he forgets his real identity. In these words, Strinam Asatyanam indicated woman love exists just to agitate the mind of man. Actually, in material world, there is no love. Both the woman and man are interested in sense gratification. For sense gratification, a woman creates an illusory love. The man becomes enchanted by such false loves and forgets his real duty. When are the children of this such a combination, the next attraction is the sweet words of the children. The love of woman at home and the talk of the children make one secure prisoner, and thus he cannot leave his home. Such a person in the Vedic language, a Grahamedi, which means one who is center of attraction, is home. The word Grahastha refers to one who lives with family life and children, but whose real purpose is living to develop Krishna consciousness. One is therefore advised to become Grahastha, not a Grahamedi. The Grahastha concern is to get out of the family life created by illusion and enter into real family life with Krishna. Whereas the Grahamedi's business is to repeatedly chain himself to so-called family life in one life after another and perpetually remain in the darkness of Maya. Thank you so much.